cryptocurrency, then what they're really trying to do is bring in this global world cash that they maintain and they manage.
Right. So it's like Bitcoin, except that they're managing it, basically.
Well, it's more than they're managing it. With Bitcoin, there's no changing the rules or anything like this. With Zuckerberg coin, then it's really there to put his sort of social views, policies, etc., imprinted on other people. And the irony is with every communist, it's fine to take other people's money, but not theirs. I mean, if you're talking about Lenin or Stalin or Mao, they lived like princes. But it's okay because we're instituting the change that makes the world better. And just like that, you have people like Zuckerberg who take over land that's traditionally owned by people for thousands of years in a way. And the first thing he does is kick them off.
Well, that's not very communist.
Well, yes, it is. I mean, they practice different to what they preach. So he says how other people will do you'll own nothing and be happy world communist forum dictate bit, but they forget who owns it. So it'll be, instead of the state, it'll just be corporation of Zuckerberg. So Mark will own it all and Silicon Valley will own it all. And you guys will be happy because you have a new overlord.
So the reason it's like communism is that they're building in these mega tech companies the equivalent of a communist state.
Fairly much, yes.
That's your argument?
Yeah, and like all of these, I mean, they'll say that it's equal, and what they'll try and do is just push everyone to be equally poor, equally dumb, equally oppressed, apart from Mark, who will be an outlier. And you don't put him in the statistical thing, so everyone's equal because you ignore outliers.
Right. It is confusing, though, because for most people, the Silicon Valley ethos is one of sort of hyper-capitalism.
Oh, yes. There's no capitalism in Silicon Valley. It never has been.
Peter Thiel
is anti-capitalist.
In what way?
If you read Adam Smith talks about the need to restrain people like Peter Thiel. He says they will all try and use sophistic, as in being a sophist, techniques to convince you that their monopoly is necessary for the country.
Right, so they will... Yeah,
Adam Smith, 1766, said this.
Right.
He could have been saying, Mr. Thiel, this is you.
These sophisticated, what do we call them?
Sophists.
Sophist manufacturers will go to the government and ask for regulation.
You don't want to protect industry. You need to protect us.
Right.
Because we are simpler to tax. If there's only one of us, if you've got hundreds of companies out there competing, think of how many different companies you'll have to monitor and maintain. But just one of us, which is what all communists do. Communists always try and make one big state industry, a monopoly. They don't want competition. So if you think about Silicon Valley, they're not competitive. Google's anti-competitive. That's why they're facing those sort of
because it's monopolistic.
It is very monopolistic. They buy and crush. And there's no innovation. They talk about how innovative they are. What? Name me a real innovation done by Silicon Valley since 2000.
Right.
Can you think of any?
ChatGPT?
It's basically just an algorithm that dates to the 80s on faster machines. Right. So much more information to feed it, but that's it. So it's not a new algorithm either.
Uber?
Uber's not innovation. It's just the ability to undercut people by doing rideshare applications. It's just a faster way of connecting more things. So what I'm saying is real inventive steps. So there's Airbnb running around saying we don't own anything, except they do. And the argument is Silicon Valley that you don't need to own anything. But Airbnb have hotels, they have a management company, they have property. People don't seem to realize that. I had the argument with someone the other day and they said, oh, but Amazon doesn't have any brick and mortar stores. And I went, Whole Foods. And then I went, Kindle stores, physical walk-in stores. The difference is they deliver it to your home. You can walk out with it, but they prefer to deliver it, then they don't need to restock shelves. But that's a brick and mortar store.
But, I mean, you're trying to get the Bitcoin SV economy going, which is a massive global ambition. Is it really in your interest to sort of spend time slagging off Silicon Valley?
Oh, yeah, because they're the opposite of what we want to do.
But so why not just let them do their thing and then you do yours?
So basically the way I'd describe it is the world's a body, they're metastasized cancer. So think of it like you've got a small group of 6 or 7 cancers, all different ones.
Well,
Not one. Like you've got lung cancer and skin cancer and all going at the same time. Maybe testicular cancer. We'll call that one Zuckerberg cancer. And they're all going simultaneously. And you can say, why don't we do nothing about these? Yeah, because you know what happens when you ignore that testicular cancer there? Facebook keeps eating away at everything. And Google keeps eating away at everything. And yeah, it doesn't work. So you have to do both.
Craig, thank you very much for your time, both this week and last week. It's been very interesting talking to you.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks very much to Dr. Craig Wright. And if you missed the first part of our conversation last week, it's still available, of course. Next week, I'll be talking about a genuine Bitcoin SV business, Jack Pitts' Slicktionary, which is building an online dictionary with innovative financial incentives, but which also harks back to the way definitions were collected for the Oxford English Dictionary centuries ago. So please join us for that. But until then, from me, Charles Miller, thanks for listening and goodbye. Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Bitcoin 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.